We're hearing it from our customers all the time that so many things are changing in the geopolitical environment, which then is intimately connected with the economic environment, that our customers are struggling with how to come to grips with it.
I work now for the Atlantic Council, but I had a career in the U.S. government where I looked at long-range trends and scenarios, and have been working with Zurich Insurance Group on a study of geopolitical change.
It's been a whole new world on the claims front. In particular, dramatic increase in tariffs in a number of countries, the increased political violence risk around the world and the risk of the need to abandon assets, and then increased sovereign default risk for customers who are either lending or selling to government entities around the world.
Governments have for years looked at the changing nature of the international system. Now, companies are beginning to think that yes, they need to look at those risks.
It's a whole new world of interconnected risk that dramatically can affect the production cycle of any company. As tariff barriers go up around the world, and even some countries contemplate things like embargoes, there is an increased risk that some supply chains could be dramatically impacted. Should they decide to mitigate that risk, there's actually insurance that can cover supply chain risk.
One of the scenarios was on energy. Oil-producing states already realize unless they do diversify, we could see many more state failures. The world economy would take a big hit if you had a slowdown in the production in the Middle East and that export onto the world market.
There's a lot of attention right now on what's happening in Europe and the United States, but companies that are in the emerging markets also really need to pay attention to their local relationships. Not only are you engaging with the local community, but you're also showing that the country is benefiting from your presence there.
It seems to me that at some point the global system has to be redesigned. You have a number of emerging powers now that are emerging so fast. You have a growth of this huge middle class throughout the world. But if you're looking at some of these scenarios that we examine, it is exactly that middle class that would be hurt.
I think right now we're facing the most uncertain time that most of us in the credit and political risk insurance industry have seen during our entire careers. Contingency planning, scenario analysis, diversifying where you're exposed all play a role. I think firms that do plan ahead the best will win ultimately in the marketplace.